again everyone. You may notice on the channel that the channel name's changed. It was Slugs'n'Spuds Growing plot, but I've never liked it because it's a bit of a mouthful even for me. So I've not yet made up my mind what the new channel name's going to be, but you'll just notice that it's different. I'm going to show you my very embarrassing setup that's indoors. It's not set up in a very good way. It's just, I've set it up the best I can and the plants are doing alright under it, so, but I'm a bit embarrassed because it's looks ramshackle. I'm currently in my little lad's bedroom because he's got the biggest room and he's got the biggest window that faces south, so it's just the best space. So all these plants are still indoors because it's still too cold at night for well, for the tomatoes and the chilies definitely, but with the sweet corn and pumpkins, the butternut squash and things like that, I'd feel better if they're just indoors while it's cold. I don't want them set back. I have put a few things in the polytunnel as a bit of an experiment to see how they do, and when I've checked the temperature in there when I'm going to bed, it's about 12 it was last night, so that's not too bad, but I think it's at its coldest at about 5 o'clock in the morning according to my phone. So anyway, I've been playing musical plant pots most of the time, and I've not put them out today because today is the first day actually that's a bit cloudy. It's been really sunny for weeks and weeks, and I've just not had time anyway, even though it is warm enough out in the polytunnel. I've not had time to play musical plant pots this morning, so they're still in here. So I might switch the light off so it's not dazzling you maybe on the camera, just to show you what's going on with the tomatoes. Oh, it's not dazzling you too much I don't think, but yeah, that's me. It's just like a box and it's got like red and blue lights in it. I don't know what strength, what wattage it is because it doesn't say on the thing, and I've thrown the box away. And it does have on settings for veg and for blooms if you've got flowers on the top there. So if I switch that one off, comes up a pinky light, and the blooms one comes up like a magenta, like a proper pinky light, like deeper. So all I've been able to do, the light itself is quite heavy and it's got little things there so you can hook it and hang it from something, but the only thing I could find was my workbench and the tin foil I've just put there just to hopefully reflect some light back in over the plants. So yeah, that's my setup. Okay, with the tomato plants, I did feed them when I did the last video. I had just fed them with a tomato food. I did all the plants with the tomato food, and I had to calculate it myself because it gave it in, mixed so much in so many litres, and all I had to use was like a pint-sized spray bottle. And to be honest, I think I did calculate it right, but I think with the plants being so young, maybe they just got a bit too much feed. And I did use the water out of the fish tank as well, which is full of nitrogen itself, so it probably just a little bit too much. And I noticed after a couple of days that the undersides of the leaves were all going purple. It was only slight at the beginning, but as each day went on, they started going darker and darker purple. So when I looked online, it said it could either be that they're too cold, and I thought, well, it's not that, they're indoors under a grow light, blah de blah. And other reasons were it could have a virus, and I thought, well, they've been outside for a couple of days, but how unlucky could it be for them all to go like that? And I thought, well, the only other thing was that I fed them. So I thought maybe I've overfed them, and so on the internet it said to flush them out. Now I'd fed them by liquid feed from the bottom. I just sat them in a little bit of water at the bottom, so they've uptaken what they've needed really. So I was a bit reluctant to flush it out and water them from the top, because I know that they don't like splashed leaves and things like that. But that's what I did. I just put loads of water in till it all was pouring out at the bottom, and most of them did improve. So like this one, you see it's very slightly purple, maybe. I'm not sure if the lighting's very good, but that was deep purple before, so they have improved. So I think I'm lucky there. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that overfeeding can be really bad. It can burn the roots and that, and I think, to be honest, I've just caught it in time. This one maybe needs another flushing out, I'm not sure. And this is my polytunnel. So it's 4 metres by 3 metres. And the reason that I've got it at home and not on the plot is because I've got places to anchor it to at home, whereas the plot is quite an open site, and it was only a cheap one. Like I said on the last video, I think it was supposed to be £80 or £90 and it was 52 or 53, something like that. My husband surprised me with it. So, and as well, I do most of my sowing at home, and it's easier to look after little seedlings when you're about, and I can't keep going up to the plot every day with Connor in tow. It's not really fair. So yeah, so I'll give you a little look at it. So it's got a nice big door on the front. I know the zips go first, and my plan is, and hopefully it won't get windy before I've done it, is to make a door frame out of wood and to solidify the whole thing with wood as well eventually. But it is strapped to the fence posts, which are concrete, and Andy's put in along the bottom. He's used tent pegs, but not for a tent. They're more like for a caravan awning, and they're like screw ones, and they're really long and strong. And I expect that they will still come out, but at least it's something for now, in case it gets windy. It's got 4 vents along the side for me to open. Oh, I forgot to mention on the last video, I have got it's my spud station. So I've got 4 tubs of spuds there. 2 of them are just shop bought spuds that were sprouting in the cupboard, and the other 2 have got, in each of them, they've just got 1 Desiree red spud in them for now. I just wanted to get some going, and I will put some up at the plot as well. So when the door's open, I do have to put some of that wire that I took off the fence. I have to stretch some of that across the doorway because the pigeons keep watching and looking, seeing if they can get in. So yeah, I've not got no shelving, so it's a bit of a, not a mess, but you know, it always looks tidy when you've got proper shelving. I've just kind of propped things up on bits of wood and stuff. These 2 things in the middle, just to keep the temperature up a tiny bit. What I do is put a tea light underneath. So this, I put a tea light in this lamp here. I know you're supposed to use terracotta pots, and the terracotta warms up and heats the space, but I've not got any terracotta pots, so I thought, well, it can at least warm some stones, so I've got 2 of them. So I don't know how effective it is, because to be honest I don't come back out and check the temperature, but even if it's only a degree or 2, it'll help on it. Now I have risked planting out some spur things just as a bit of a test. So that's a melon melba. Those 2 actually are melon melba, and they are actually doing alright. I do cover them at night. I put you know, a bottle over each one. And this is an Atlantic giant pumpkin, so I cover him as well with this. Planted out 2 of the tomatoes as well. So this big one is a Costoluto, and I think that one's a money maker. If it's not, it's another Costoluto that's not quite caught up with the other ones, not grown as fast. But I tried to pick 1 of each, just so that I had 1 of each as a test growing here. I've planted out 3 cucumbers as well. So there's these 2 here, this side of the door, and there's another one over here, and a perennial sweet pea I've put there as well, so it smells nice when I come in. Now these 2 have been alright, but this one, it had a proper sulk, and every morning when I'd come in it'd be fine, and then by midday it'd be sorry, I've got a fly. By midday it was starting to droop and not be happy, so I'm just thinking maybe cucumbers like it a little bit cooler. Really, they don't want baking. Anyway, it's picked up now. Let's see what temperature it is at the minute. Yeah, so it's 18 degrees at the minute now. We're at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so yeah, I think it's got up into the 20-somethings on previous days. So maybe because he's only just been transplanted, maybe he just didn't like a slightly higher temperature, but he seems fine now anyway. So it was a lot more full than this yesterday, but I did go up to the plot and I took all of the broccolis, the cabbages, the snowball turnips, some of the kale that were big enough, the ambassador peas, and a couple more things. So I did take my camera to record something that I was doing, but it said error on the SD card because one of the holders for the micro SD likes the computer but doesn't like the camera, and unfortunately I had the wrong one in. So but hopefully, even though it's going to be a rainy week, I'll get some time to go back up to the plot. So on Friday I'd gone up and pre-watered all the ground, knowing that I'd be back the next day to actually plant some stuff out, so, and then covered it to keep that damp in. So and then just gave it another little bit of a watering, so hopefully they'll all be okay. And I'm glad really that it's not really hot and sunny, because it's not ideal to plant things out in those conditions. So touch wood, they're all alright. Just a little update on my heating situation in the Polytunnel. Today's the next day, so we're on the 14th of April. It's quite a cold and windy day today, so when I came in, the thermometer said it was only 9 degrees when I came to uncover the tomatoes. So I thought I'll set the tea lights going and I'll just leave them to hopefully heat it up a little bit. Now part of me didn't really want to know whether it was working or not, because it was, in my mind, it was making me feel better that I had some kind of heating going in here. But I've come back in and I'm actually quite surprised really. I thought they'd only stay lit for about half an hour, but we're about 3 hours later and the candles were still going when yeah, they're still going actually, and the stones on top are still warm. So the one with the stone closer to the actual flame of the candle is quite warm. Obviously the other one will have the stones that are close to the flame will be warm as well. It's giving quite a bit of heat out, that actually. Now you could say with variables it's not going to be an exact science this, because there's going to be some kind of difference between the outside of the polytunnel and inside anyway. But if I just show you without showing me actual location, today in this area it's 13 degrees outside the polytunnel, and the thermometer's reading 18 degrees, and even though it's only cheap, I found this thermometer to be quite accurate as well. So make of that what you will, draw your own conclusions. The sun's actually trying to come out now. Great. I've brought you back into the polytunnel today because with a new day comes new problems. The tomatoes, I've decided some of the leaves are going to go yellow now after all the rigmarole of flushing out the overfeed and things. So the worst ones I'm going to just plant into the tomato growing bags. Now I've not got enough for them all, I need to get some more, but if I can get the worst ones out and then just kind of I think I'm interfering too much, so I think I just kind of have to neglect them maybe a bit. And with the cucumbers as well, I think I spoke too soon. The two that are near the door, the one in the corner, now he's okay, but the one nearest the door, he's looking nearly dead. But I think because yesterday it was cold and I kept going in and out of the door, so he was probably getting blasted a little bit by the cold. And then I set the tea lights. Yeah, it wasn't looking too good. So and one of the ones indoors I noticed had set a flower, so when I checked them all, they were all trying to do it. So I've nipped them off, but I've not got high hopes because they're too small at the minute to start fruiting. And I suspect that the melons may do the same. They've got what looks like are going to form, like they just look a little tiny bit bulbous. So I've got time to redo the cucumbers, because you can sow them in April if you wanted to plant them outdoors. Although I will be planting some more in here if I can find the space. And if those ones over there fail, with the melons I'll have to check whether it's okay to sow some more. If it goes wrong, I wouldn't be doing loads, I'd just be doing a couple. But some of the other plants as well, like my Fiesta popping corn, the roots are coming out at the bottom, so I'm not going to video that, but what I'm going to do is see if I can salvage any emergency soil or compost from somewhere and maybe plant them in their own pots. So they're getting really big. So you can see they're getting really big now and the roots are coming out of the bottom. So I need to do something with those. I think the temperatures at night they're kind of leveling off, but we've got the odd night that goes down to 2 degrees, so I'm not confident in planting them outside. I'll work something out though. So as you can see with this tomato plant, he's not looking very well. I know the bottom leaves often fall off, well the very like that. Those leaves fall off, but the next ones up were falling off as well. He's already lost one and he's trying to curl a bit but not crispy, so it's not like he's too dry or anything. So I've got 6 spaces, so I'm going to pick 6 of them to put in, but I need to loosen my bags first. So just kind of, I've never done it in this method before. I've always had them in big pots or in the ground. I don't ever can do it like this. It's not, I watched Alan Titchmarsh doing it. Don't know how much, there's not any room in there for it to go really loose. Maybe just get my hand in and loosen it a bit more. So I'm just going to do like a cross shape. This knife's really blunt, it's ridiculous. Come on. Make everything look difficult, don't I? Right. Yeah, so that didn't loosen up very well with me doing that. Just get my hands in and try and loosen it up a little bit. It really stinks, this stuff. When Andy was lifting it out of the garden centre to put it in the boot of the car, his arms all smelled. Yeah, so maybe that's why when I've put soil in, it's missed a bit for some reason. I've not tamped it down very well. So these are just kind of been floating in the air, I suppose. So in there you go. There you go. And behave yourself. Right, I'll not video me doing them all, but I'll do those and then I'll give them a watering. I hope you can still hear me. The council cutting the grass down the road, so they've got the lawnmowers going. But so I planted them in. I don't know which ones are which, apart from this one's definitely a Costoluto, which is like a beef one, like a beefy one, and the middle one on in that sack is definitely a money maker. But they're both indeterminate types of tomatoes, so I've been reading up because I didn't know much about tomatoes, to be honest. And the indeterminate ones are the ones that you pinch out, and they keep fruiting right up until the first frost, so when it's too cold. The determinate ones set their fruit all at once, like this tumbling Tom here. I've planted him up in his own pot because they tend to cascade, so I didn't want him cascading on the floor, so I've put him in a pot. Now I thought he was looking really ill, but when I went to a garden centre the other day, all of their tumbling Toms looked exactly the same, so maybe it's just a cascading type tomato that looks like that anyway, I don't know, but he has got yellow leaves. Same as that one was quite bad. I think I've just actually snapped that one off. Yeah. Well, it probably needed snapping off anyway, because I think once they've gone like that, I think they're done for really, the actual stem. Or maybe I could have snipped it off there, I don't know, but anyway, they're in, and I'm going to water them, but I don't know what's happened to the rose head, but it's gone missing. So I'm just going to trickle the water over my hand, I think. At least it'll wash my hand a little bit. Honestly, it really stinks, this compost. Again, I don't want to water them too much. I should try not to splash them, shouldn't I? I'm rushing really because it's dinner time. I need to make Connor some dinner, and I promised to take him playing tennis. When I say play tennis, I mean there's no rules. The only aim is to try and hit the ball with the bat. But I've said I'll take him out after dinner. Again, I'm scared of overwatering them. I just think they're so fickle. And actually all the plants from indoors are actually in here at the minute. I've actually turned the lamp off. Now the chilies and the other tomatoes that I've not managed to plant right now, I will take them back in and put them on the windowsill. Yeah, I just feel like I'm being real as fickle as these tomatoes actually in how I'm caring for things. I keep changing my mind what I should do because they keep presenting with problems. I think the compost in these bags should be quite warm, even though they were outside when I bought them from the garden centre. They've been in here for 4 days when it's been quite warm, and the water that I'm using has been warmed up in here as well. I got it out of the fish pond and just kept it in here so that the water temperature will warm up and not shock them. So I've got 3 tomatoes left there, and I did buy another one the other day, which is a chocolate cherry. Now his roots are coming out of the bottom as well, and he feels quite light, so I think I best give him some water. And I bought some chilies, basket of fire, sweet pepper, tequila, and a chili pepper, demon red. I only went in for some, actually I went in for some rat poison, unfortunately. So for the sake of not letting this video get too long, I'm going to actually leave it there, and I'll show you some footage from the plot next time. I've not actually been up yet, but I will do during the week, and I will definitely go on Saturday and film some stuff for you and show you how much it's not changed from last year. So yeah, I'm going to go and get Connor some dinner, go and play tennis, and hope you all enjoy your gardens. Please like and subscribe if you do like this content, it would help me a lot. So bye, see you next time.